Luxury apartment projects with large open spaces, gardens, safe areas for kids to play, and most importantly, latest technologies employed in construction have set a trend in the real estate sector in India. One such luxury apartment complex launched in Bangalore recently is promoted by the Salarpuria and Satva Group. The most innovative feature that home buyers in the luxury segment could look forward to in this complex, called Greenage, is the helipad on the top of every building. Another big offering by the promoters of Greenage is the Sky Garden concept, where every homeowner will have a garden in front of his house, which will not only add to the lush green ambience but also help people get a feel that they are staying in a villa. When we spoke to Apurva Salarpuria, director of Salarpuria Group, along with architect Abhay Zakaria, they explained the features of this luxury apartment complex.
It's a 21-acre gated high-rise community set within a park. In the onset, we set out to create a new community wherein we encourage communal spaces, people interact with each other on a day-to-day basis. So essentially, the master plan is aimed at creating an entire green park within which 10 towers soar up to about ranging between 17 to 25 floors. We have also planned a whole lot of amenities that cater to the needs of people on a day-to-day basis, and they have been planned in such a way that they actually create cross-communication, interconnection between blocks, so that it brings people out and creates activity throughout the day as well as night.
Okay.
No, here we'll just highlight something. This is actually a collaboration between HOK, which is an American firm, and Zakaria, which has done most of the detailed designing. So it actually brings out a lot of best practices from the US, which have also gotten incorporated, and it gives an international feel to the entire place. We are doing the project in two phases. The first phase should be completed in about 30 months, and then we will kind of decide in the next 2 to 3 months about the timing of the second phase, but most likely in about 12 months we'll launch the second phase.
I wouldn't say projects insist on. This is something that right from the promoters to the architects, we have ensured that we are following the strict guidelines that are in place. We are right from rainwater harvesting to solar power and garbage regeneration. We are looking at different concepts, but mainly I must add here, all these things are being done in such a way that it involves the people, the community. So it's twofold. Not only are we being responsible, we are also involving kids to come and learn. So it's right. There's a small thing called, what we've added on is the herb garden, but it is partly to encourage people to come, help, develop, and grow that. It's the entire. When I spoke about it being a community environment, it is also to teach people of different ages within the community. So there's a whole lot of features that add on to that, not just the natural environment. There are a whole lot of other FSTs planned as well.
Indian real estate developers are increasingly seeking foreign tie-ups for their projects. One, to get the latest technology from abroad, and second, to introduce international standards to their projects.
We are working with a whole lot of architects from around the world. At the same time, we have extremely talented architects like Abhay and his team. But the idea is that India, because of the fact that it's at a stage where it's starting to mushroom, we want to try and benefit from what the United States or the Europe has done in the past, in the sense that they have done projects of scales which we are only starting to do now. So the benefits of their learnings, their mistakes, we are able to get through architects who have worked there. At the same time, technology probably the way it is right now is more accessible or accessed upfront by the Western world, and through these architects we want to try and achieve get the benefit of this as well. So to some extent, yes, we do try and get foreign architects to get in new technology, to get in best practices from around the world.
The other major feature of the new real estate projects coming up around the country is that of new imported technologies introduced in construction and building. There have been instances of new construction of 4-story buildings which have no beams or columns and wooden walls for villas. Greenage project also has unique technology in construction.
Best practice in terms of minimum required open spaces, in terms of new technology. For example, we are using something called which is colloquially called My One technology, but it's not My One. My One is one of the suppliers, so to say, which is a technology which enables us to build the project much faster, and it gives a much cleaner and nicer finish to the entire place. Although we are investing a lot of money into that, it's something which requires a lot of upfront investment. But given the feel and the scale of the project, we have taken the decision to invest in the technology, and we hope to see the results. It's going to give a much better finish, and people are going to get to occupy the flats much faster than otherwise. But broadly, what happens is that you eliminate a lot of masonry work. What happens is, otherwise, your peripheral walls and internal partitions are done by either hollow bricks or red bricks. This kind of substitutes a whole lot of that, enabling you to move up much faster.
A lot of new technology is coming in, as you said, is being explored here. But as Apurva has just mentioned, it is essentially, for us, the importance is getting the quality finish, and also the speed of construction that enables us to bring the product out much faster. Essentially, the technology we're looking at here is a kind of formwork that allows you to pour in concrete. So your entire walls, your slabs, your ceilings are concrete. So essentially, you could, to give you a comparison, you'd probably following a regular beam and slab system, you'd probably take about 21 days to go from one floor to the other. In a sense, you could do it in 7 days. So all you're doing is creating the formwork, pouring in the concrete, and then taking the same formwork and slipping it out, which in a sense also reduces the the amount of labor that is needed here.
New technologies can be costly to implement, but it adds value to the structure as well as reduce delivery time. Delivery time is amongst the biggest concerns for home buyers.
Honestly, it really does not offset the entire cost. The idea of using this technology was not so much cost saving as it was to provide a better product. And this was something which people will see as time passes away. The product that this technology enables us to provide is far superior in finish, and the other thing is time. We are able to provide flat owners a ready flat at a much faster pace than otherwise. So the key considerations for us were the quality of the product and the timely delivery. These were considered more than cost. These were the things that drove us to choose.
The target customers for higher-end residential property can be as varied as HNIs to NRIs to celebrities. But the promoters of Green Age, Salarpuria and Satva, have their own strategy on how they would sell their flats. Most importantly, the group discourages speculators from buying the flats.
See, this is it's like Abhay mentioned, it's a large community. It will have a large diaspora of people. We are looking at apart from the domestic market, within Bangalore and other cities in India, there is a large NRI market which this place is going to attract. We are in fact doing some roadshows in the US, and we are looking at the Middle East as well to offer this product. The beauty of it is that the location, while being very central, it offers a large space, a lot of greenery, and it offers a very international feel. The entire project is very, very international in its feel. So that is something which we want to take out. People who are living out, they want the feel to be international. At the same time, they want to be in the local environments. So that is something which this project kind of strives to achieve. To provide the international lifestyle in the local environment. This is something to do with our philosophy in the company. Even in times, about a year back when this kind of things were happening, what we don't do is that we don't sell out blocks to investors. What happens typically when you hear of these kind of things is that people pre-book large chunks to investors at discounted rates. The reason we don't do that is twofold. One is that we don't want a community where which is not occupied, which is not vibrant. So we don't want we want that process to get completed as early as possible. The other thing is that in times when the market goes slow, like it has right now, when you sell to investors, all of these investors suddenly put their stuff on the block as well, and you have your own flats competing against yourself in the market, and that is one strong reason we don't sell blocks to investors. and that is probably the reason we do it over a larger period of time, and we are happy doing it. You know, it's something which customers have largely appreciated in all these years, and you know, we intend to give that back to them. We don't intend to cheat them on that.
Luxury living in India might be getting redefined in every sense of that word. The features added to various projects might outdo the other, just as the Green Age punchline says it all. At Green Age, everything is built with one goal in mind: to create a perfect living space for you and your loved ones. Anil Nair, Real Estate Television, Bangalore.